Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where due to a technicality, we're poor at both being the last. But mostly, we're poor at making art. My name's Benj.
And I'm Isaac. And if you are a video game fan, raise your hand.
I mean, I'll raise my hand, but...
If you're a video game fan that's ever played the video game The Last of Us, raise your hand.
This time I'm not raising my hand.
Benj has never
For
played
those
The Last
of you that
of Us.
aren't in the room with
Some
us.
of the people out there probably don't even know, but there's a new show on TV with Pedro, I think it's Pascal.
You didn't have to say the name if you don't know who
Pedro.
it is.
It's the guy who plays the Mandalorian, but he's on a new show called The Last of Us, which a lot of people may or may not even know is based on a video game called The Last of Us, back from the PlayStation 3 era days. And it's a fantastic video game, easily one of my top 10 of all time. And the show, unlike most, like movie or TV adaptations of video games, is actually fantastic and really accurate to the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of the time you don't want a show or movie to be accurate to the game story-wise.
Yeah, I mean...
Because most video games don't have very good stories.
You don't think the new Super Mario Bros. Movie is going to be about Mario searching for Princess Peach and going from castle to castle to castle,
he goes
looking
like
for
8
Princess
different
Peach
castles,
every time he fights Bowser?
and he just like jumps from...
He jumps
one
over Bowser's
side.
head every time looking for the princess?
Mm-hmm. Well, those are all fake Bowsers.
I thought they were real Bowsers, but fake princesses.
No, because when you kill them, they turn into like a Koopa or a Goomba or something.
I don't think that's true in the original game.
No, yeah, it is. They were turned into Bowser like magic, like it's like a illusion.
I'm still saying that wouldn't be the worst movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't be a good movie. But the point isn't that. The point is that The Last of Us, it was pretty cinematic just the way it was made.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it translated to a video game a bit easier, I think, than a lot of other...
Yeah. And just to be clear, the title that we're drawing today is The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way Isaac can talk about this show and game that I've basically not even heard of.
It's quite unfortunate. I mean, the show isn't for everybody. Let's just put it that way. So the premise of the game is that there's a zombie outbreak, which I know sounds super cliche, and it is, especially in the video game world. You think there's a lot of zombie movies?
Oh, yeah.
There are even more video games that are
it's
related.
It's just like, oh, you want like a shooting game? But
you don't want to feel as bad about shooting people?
Yeah, like you don't want to shoot people most of the time. So it's like either it's aliens or it's zombies.
Yeah.
Or they do like, oh, it's Nazis if they do want to shoot people.
Yeah, that is quite a common...
And then some games, they do the Nazi zombies. That way you feel doubly good for shooting them.
True. I do not know what a palm tree is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I even looked up pictures of palm trees earlier. You think that could qualify as a palm branch?
I mean, if you just explain it,
that's a palm branch.
Now no one can question it.
They can be disappointed in me for it.
That's why we talk when we draw, so that people can't question it.
Yeah, that's the whole reason there's commentary with these videos.
Otherwise, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate truth. No, but yeah, it is, like I said, it is a fact that the whole zombie thing has been overdone in video games, but that doesn't really change the fact that The Last of Us is like, it's more about the story of the main characters. So there's like the main protagonist, if you will. His name's Joel, and he lives in this world, that's been like destroyed by the zombie outbreak. But you have you play as him in the video game, and you have his whole storyline of like he lost, family and stuff due to the outbreak, and he meets this girl who he is trying to keep safe. This girl that was like his daughter's age trying to keep her safe in the zombie world, and there's all these, you know, it's very cliche in some ways, like all the people that survived the zombie outbreak are clearly terrible.
Right.
That's how it works in movies. If you survive a zombie outbreak, it's because you're horrible.
Yeah. I mean, because to survive, you probably had to steal and kill and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he's been like hardened by the world. Ooh, I don't know what happened to that palm branch.
You tried to go the other direction.
It didn't work.
It's just,
from the palm mangler.
Every tree has like one leaf that's like dying and falling off.
The palm mangler is what happens when the hand mangler gets confused, because he hears palm and he's like, oh, like on the hand.
He just like shows up.
Yeah, it's what the hand mangler does when he's at the beach.
Yeah, because there's so many palm trees at actual beaches.
I mean, if they plant them there.
I think it's just going to be this whole side.
I think I'm drawing it at a different angle on this side of the palm. They also don't like meet in the middle. They're supposed to all meet here, I think. Those two are tucked in behind the... Oh gosh, that one's just straight. But I can fix that. That's just a line going down the middle, don't you see?
Yeah. Now there's kind of like a gap, though.
That's the best I can do. It's the best I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst palm tree I've ever seen. It's up there.
I don't know how I feel about it at all. It's like there's detail, which I don't normally put in my palm trees when I try to draw them.
Yeah. Like the leaves don't quite look like palm tree leaves, but they do look like leaves.
But I also don't really know how to fix that. Anyway, the whole game, The Last of Us, and this show for that matter, which does an excellent job of following the storyline, it's much more about like the father-daughter-ish relationship between the like really hardened man who's lost everything and has had to, become real gruff and tough, but then his heart is softened by the girl that he meets and he wants to protect her, even though she's also like really rough around the edges and kind of terrible. But I don't know. It's one of the more emotional video games I've ever played, but you're also just like fighting zombies. The zombies are also really unique.
It's kind of weird to have like an emotional video game. Like, don't you normally like play video games to like not have emotional things? Like, oh, I just want to go shoot some zombies.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that, but some of the best video games are the ones just like movies where you like care about the characters to a degree. Maybe you out there in the internet world don't understand that, but it's true.
I mean, well, I think it's the opposite.
What?
Like, all my favorite games are the ones where the characters don't have personalities because you are the character. Like Link, Skyrim, like all these games where it's like your character purposefully doesn't have a personality at all. Because you are the character. So it's whatever personality you have. I've never really liked playing the games where it's like you're playing as this guy and you have to do whatever this guy would do.
See, I like that because you still, I don't know. It's like when you watch a movie and you relate to a character in a movie. You kind of put yourself in their shoes and stuff like that. It's kind of like that in some video games where you're like, you try to relate to them in a way, even though you really can't because you're just nothing like the people in shows. But I don't know. I really like the video game. I like the emotionalness of this game. Don't ask me how that arm connects. I don't know.
You made it. Oh.
I kind of just mirrored the first arm.
But the first arm makes sense.
Don't ask me how you shorts working.
What is he doing with his leg? Oh, what?
Hush, you're making it worse.
I don't.
I realized he's like on his side, so you have to see both legs. There's just something horribly wrong with this one. I don't know.
Like the way his body connects to his pants.
I'm just gonna go with stick arms.
Everything about this was like a snowman at the beach.
Stop! I can't draw and laugh at the same time.
Can you draw when you don't laugh?
No.
It's not even connected. I feel so sorry for this guy.
I don't understand what's happening back here.
It doesn't have his body is flat. He's like folded over.
It was going so well.
The wind doesn't go so well.
It looks like there's someone else behind him, like cuddling him.
Yeah. And somehow it's like in his pants.
Maybe if I give him a striped shirt, it'll fix some of that. Stripes hide a lot of. He's like a referee on the beach.
I just don't understand.
Oh, his feet are creeping me out. I got to do something about these. There, that's his hand. Your red are like snowman hands now. Maybe they're just like,
we were at lunch today, and we were talking about how we've been doing this for over a year and we haven't improved.
Well,
and I was saying I think we've gotten worse, and I think this is evidence.
This is going to be confusing because the line for the ground is going to come out and look like it's part of his leg.
Because he should, that looks better that he now has a leg.
It does look better, doesn't it?
Yeah, because people don't have stall. That's worse, though.
I don't know what it is. We need to do something about this because our drawing tablet, legitimately, when you get lower, when you're centered here, like the tip of the pen touches the tip of the little cross point.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're down here, it's like half a centimeter off, so it's even hard to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a calibration thing. I'm sure we could fix it.
We haven't.
Where's the fun in
that? All right, so you're probably wondering, you're probably thinking that he was the last of us. But no, he's not the last of us. Something happened to this dude. Something unfortunate.
Oh, unfortunate.
Did you hear the news? Actually, I think you did because you were at dinner with us the other day. The first shark casualty of the year has happened.
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico, and it was a particularly gruesome one.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man who was decapitated by a great white shark. I don't know exactly the details, but I'm imagining it just put its mouth all the way around the guy's head and just bit.
Yeah. I would swim with sharks. That sounds fun, but I would not do it at some shady Mexican place that's just here, jump in here with these sharks. That we are drawing here with blood.
Is there a legitimate
places you can?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Are there?
Yeah. Where they actually have cages and have a plan to keep you safe, and they don't just find the hungriest sharks.
Isn't it what you want, though? You don't want to go and dive with sharks and be they were docile. You're it attacked the cage and somehow we survived, and that's the story you get to tell?
Yeah, but you just say that anyways.
And then there's those people who are see, I hate them. I hate the videos, and I know this is wrong to say. I shouldn't hate these. But all the videos of people swimming with sharks, and they're see, it's like your Labrador Retriever. Just, it won't hurt you. And they pet it, and you're yeah, in this video, you don't see the video of the guy petting the shark and losing a hand from it.
Right. Well, I mean, like if the sharks aren't hungry, and like sharks don't really think of humans as their food source.
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah.
But then every year,
what, like a couple people die?
well, that's kind of
Like
the point I was getting at.
even in this story that you're saying, it's not like the shark ate the guy.
He ate enough of him.
Like, no, he killed him, but it was because he saw the guy as a threat, not as food.
We don't know that. No one interviewed the shark.
Well, I mean, the fact that like every shark attack is like one bite, and then the shark leaves because they don't like the taste of humans.
Are you sure about that?
Yep. Name a shark attack that you know of where the person was bitten more than once.
They don't have to be.
But like even when their arm gets bit, they don't like keep going after them. They just leave. What, does that one have arms?
Okay, so the whole point of me bringing up sharks in general was people, every time you bring up this, don't swim with sharks, it's stupid. People are like, well, actually, it's not, because sharks are like friends. And actually, more people are killed by vending machines. And they always bring up the next one, and falling coconuts. And you're like, yeah,
And
but I'd
icicles.
rather die from a coconut or a vending machine
Really?
than a shark.
But then you don't have a cool story in heaven.
No
to tell
one-
people.
The vending machine
And your
guys have a
family.
fair...
Think of your family. Kayla's there, and she now has to be like, yeah, my husband died because a vending machine fell on him. How much cooler would it be if she's like, no, my husband died because a shark ate him. Just bit his head right off.
No, that wouldn't be cooler. You're
It
getting your...
would be. Think of me. I have to tell people my best friend died because a vending machine fell on him. How lame is that? I'd be the laughing
Yeah,
stock.
but people would be
At
like,
the-
oh, that's quite unfortunate. Clearly an accident. But if you tell somebody he got eaten by a shark, they're like, psh, serves him right for swimming with sharks.
They'd be like, oh man, he was so cool and adventurous. You had a cool best friend.
You can be cool and adventurous with coconuts.
Not with, maybe, probably not. Not if you
Friend
died
on
from them.
Yeah, but this poor guy doesn't have a cool story, I guess. He's just kind of like
Well, I mean, if these coconuts
drooling into
have
the...
arms and like mouths, like this is a much like. I mean, coconuts are already hairy. You're always already like, are these creatures that I'm eating?
You think they'd be horrifying. Do they like crawl around?
No, I think they move using the hairs.
Ew.
Like bacteria.
No. Like a millipede? Just like
Yeah, just
a million
like
little
so
hairy
many
arms?
hairs. Yeah, just kind of. I think they're born in the sand and they just make their way up the tree.
Ew. That makes me... And then what? And then we crack them open
Yep.
and drink the blood and
Mhm.
scrape the flesh out with a spoon.
Yep.
We take a drill to them, poke them right in the three holes.
Maybe they're kind of like butterfly chrysalids, and you know how like butterflies like melt when they're in the chrysalis. Maybe that's what you're drinking.
That's disgusting. I'm never eating a coconut again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like coconuts already, so
I mean... See, this is like the scenario on the beach,
mm-hmm.
you know?
But like, how come it's the only coconut with arms?
I mean, the other one's probably just... I don't know. Maybe the arms break off and they
Mhm.
stay in the tree,
Oh, okay.
and just the body falls down. Or maybe the other ones have them just tucked in.
Right.
Like, you can't see the three holes on the guy in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those three holes are like three arms that pop out, and then they retract, and then they liquefy on the inside, and they turn into the water on the inside.
I think it's interesting that you drew the three holes that are normally there, but then you also drew the
Eyes
eyes
in
in
the
the
mouth.
mouth.
Yeah, it's kind of like Toy Story almost, where they
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like they,
Yeah, where they just. I don't know what you meant by that, because Toy Story, like, they use
like
the
they come
mouse.
alive. Well, they come alive during. Yeah, you're right. They do. Is there anything in Toy Story that like has
A separate mouth that appears. No, because like the toys that don't have mouths just can't talk.
terrible? Who designs those toys?
Well, I mean, they didn't think they would come to life.
This part of the drawing's empty. We need something.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you just showed that the 3 holes are the arms, not the eyes and mouth, like we'd all assume.
I think I messed this up.
What is it? Like a sock puppet? Stick it out?
That's what it's not at all what it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's what it's.
So some guy like in the sand pops up his sock puppet.
It's like a shark.
What kind of shark is this? This is like a friendly shark.
Where's the shark's eye located? It's like here.
I don't think you have to worry about.
The correct anatomy at this point. Why does it look so much like a sock puppet? It's just like that ocean is over there, so he's just like popping up out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is he like waving?
It does look that way. That's. I'm not even gonna say.
But is that not supposed to be the fin on the side?
It's supposed to be the one on his back.
There's something.
I drew it on the wrong side.
It's clearly not on the back.
Yep.
Is this what sharks are most afraid of?
Yeah.
Coconuts?
He's just thinking to himself, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not in the on land."
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
This dude fell down and clonked him on the head.
And all the other coconuts followed, except for the last one.
Yeah, he doesn't want any part of this. Holding on for dear life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. We got to talk about scary show and scary video game, scary sharks and scary coconuts.
Mm-hmm. And the scariest of them all was certainly the coconuts.
See, I'm talking about how that's just dumb. People should be way more scared of zombies than sharks.
No, I mean, after this drawing especially, though, I'm just more afraid of coconuts.
This is just satire. Because clearly that shark has eaten like 26 people. People say there's like only a few people eaten every year by sharks.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause they don't know. How many shark eatings are unreported? Just like somebody with no family and no friends that goes missing. I bet like tons of missing persons reports are like they ran away to the ocean and got eaten by a shark.
So just like every missing person.
No, not every, like the ones that run away.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to run away
Oh.
to? You're going to run away and go to the beach.
I mean,
People
I
do
would
that
never
on
do
vacation
that.
all the time. They're like, we need to get away from everything. Let's go to the beach.
But you also don't like really like sharks aren't really by any beaches almost ever. You have to like
What do you?
go deeper.
That's not true. That's where they eat all the people.
You have to go like deeper in.
Dang,
What is that line?
it's a horizon line.
Why did you do it right where the arm is?
Well, I'm just not going to put it there. Still felt empty.
Mm-hmm.
Still felt empty.
It's allowed to be empty.
Need like a setting sun. Which, if I could convey the colors I wanted to with this, which I don't want to convey,
Mm-hmm.
it would be beautiful.
Oh, okay.
The Last of Us. With the addition of Sharky the sock puppet. Coming out of the sand, apparently. There's you can't tell it, but it goes down to the beach. He's actually further out than you might think in the water.
Right.
Probably should have drawn him in the water.
In the water, yeah. Not in the sand. Sticking out like a sock puppet.
I think maybe he was like, sick of this ocean thing. I'm going to go out onto the beach myself up there and get some sun. And then he does, and he
sees how
pops up and he sees this, and he's like, oh my gosh, get me back to the ocean where all these sharks are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that might be possible.
I've conveyed everything I wish to with this piece of art.
Well, then let's see what I might convey.
All yours. I just want to point out that Ben calibrated the tablet in between us drawing.
I didn't actually calibrate the tablet.
Yeah, but if your drawing looks better than mine, I blame it on the calibration.
I looked through the settings and I didn't find a calibration setting.
I mean, it probably fixed something. You scared it just knowing you're looking at settings. Did it work?
That is where I'm going to start drawing. I was just moving the pen around and...
I delete my first thought sometimes just because you have to touch the tablet to start.
What part of the drawing will this be? Let's do... Well, I'll start up here anyways. Nose first. Because that is a requirement.
You were expounding on me. To me. You were talking with me about nose first style during church today.
Mm-hmm.
You gave it you had a reason why it should be the way people draw. That's just the guy from Garfield. I just want to point that out too. That's just Dave.
Yeah.
From Garfield that you've drawn.
Mm-hmm. Dave from Garfield.
You want to tell the people at home though why you think nose first is...
Well, I mean, think of it. What is the first part of your body? The nose.
What do you mean the first part?
When you come onto screen, from off screen, you come on nose first. Always.
Like your nose sticks out that far?
And how many times do you win a race by the nose?
I don't think anybody ever says that.
Everyone always says that.
Have a nose ahead.
Yeah.
You stick your nose out. Is that what they say?
They won by a nose. That's a saying.
I don't think that's a saying.
Look it up.
You could say that about anything. One by a hair is a saying.
No, look it up.
Are you assuming the hair comes from the nose?
No, look. I'm just saying. Look it up. It's a saying.
One by a nose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a saying, but not
because of races.
In horse races. Because the nose is the first part of the horse.
Yeah,
see
that's true. That's true for humans too.
I don't know what it is. I think your foot goes when you walk off screen or walk on screen, your foot goes first.
No, well, nobody films your foot.
I mean, if you're overweight, then it's your stomach first. You don't draw stomach first style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was going to be incorporated into this. Is that a hand? Oh, what is that?
See, I liked your sock puppet that you drew. So I wanted to draw a guy with a sock puppet.
That's a whale.
Yeah, it's a sock puppet. And there's that first thought I made.
This is what The Last of Us inspired you to do. Yeah. Sock puppet.
I was just like, well, no, the sock puppet was inspired by your sock puppet.
Oh, nice to know. See, as weird as that might be, it's almost flattering that my art inspired other art.
Mm-hmm.
You think people look at our art and are inspired in any way?
That's like bell bottoms. But I mean,
he's got a sock puppet. It's okay. He's really skinny. Skinnier than his head. Do you think people are inspired by our art? See, no, okay, hang on. Before I even get into that, his toe is the first thing to enter the room. Way in front of the nose.
No, but you don't film. If I was filming this guy, he's walking on screen. His nose is the first thing that enters the screen.
All right, I digress. But do you think we inspire people to do more than like, don't do what the two poor artists do? See that? That's wrong. Don't do it that way. You think that's the only way we inspire people?
I do. Except for maybe like nose first style or saggy butt style.
It's not my style. I don't want that style.
Are you sure it's not your style?
It was a one-time mistake that I've tried to move on from.
I'm pretty sure it's your style.
I should draw more things with sagging butts then. My coconuts all should have had saggy butts.
I mean, you don't have to do it more than once for it to be your signature style.
I'm just saying, if it's gonna...
They've got an old TV.
I legitimately didn't know that was a TV until you said it was a TV. They also have the antennas turned like opposite how you would think.
No, this one's farther back. You just can't tell because of perspective.
And because it's exactly the same thickness and size.
Yeah. Perspective.
Yeah, people.
And it's
see all the youngins watching.
That's the cable plugged into the wall.
It's good to know.
It's pretty tight.
They pulled it real far. It's a major tripping hazard in this room.
Yep.
But do you remember how back in the day people used to like take aluminum foil, like tin foil, and like wrap their TV antennas in it? You'd walk into, like, I don't think we ever did this at my house, but you'd walk into some people's houses and they'd have like the entire roll of aluminum foil like balled up into these long noodles that would attach to their TV antennas because somehow that helped. I don't think it ever helped.
Even the foil, like, it was basically just like, if it worked, like, if you could get the channel, you could get the channel. If you couldn't, you couldn't. And that was basically...
I wonder if there's anybody out there who really was like, we couldn't quite get the channel to come in clear, but then we wrapped a whole roll of aluminum foil around it, and somehow that made a difference. Maybe.
I mean, the logic is fairly sound.
Is it? Just more metal?
Just more metal. More metal means more signal.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I think it is.
Kids today, like, do they even know what a TV antenna is? Like, they might see like a satellite dish, but even satellite dishes are scarce nowadays. I remember one of the first years, like, it's probably like 7-8 years ago, we wanted to watch the Super Bowl. And this was like before streaming was like a huge thing, and we don't have cable, we never have. So I feel I remember it's still downstairs in a box somewhere. We have like a TV antenna, like a modern TV antenna, which doesn't look anything like, it just looks like a boring black box that you plug in.
Right.
But it had like, we used it to watch the Super Bowl one year and then never again, because after that, there was always like a streaming service or something you could watch it on.
Right. Because streaming services just work better.
It's true.
These guys somehow look different than my normal guys.
Yeah, what is wrong with them?
But I did the same thing, I'm pretty sure.
I think everything about them is just skinnier. You adding teeth doesn't help either. Now they look way different.
Well, I sometimes add teeth to my drawings if I made them out.
The guy on the left is terrifying. If I walked in the room and saw somebody with a whale hand puppet, I'd also probably smile like that. So, Welp?
It's getting...
I can't even guess how this relates to the Last of Us.
Everyone else...
Oh, gosh.
You know how sometimes you're writing and you think of the last letter?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And if we believed in erasing, it would be an easy fix.
Well,
so wait, is this guy overstaying his welcome? Him and Shamu, the hand puppet. So that smile makes perfect sense for that guy now. So, when are you leaving? It's getting late. When he says us, does he mean him and the people were there previously, or to see me and him and Free Willy there on the sock puppet.
The puppet's the one talking. He's like moving the mouth.
Your guy's mouth also, is he like, it's like an attempted ventriloquist?
Yeah, he's trying to like not talk, but like his mouth is clearly open. he's not good at it.
So he's also floating.
It's for perspective.
Just give him. There's nothing to give perspective to this. The TV is on the floor. The other man is on the floor. Is that part of his shoe?
Yeah, he has
Oh
like.
gosh, those were all the rage in the 90s.
He's got those like partial bell bottoms already.
Remember how girls in the 90s used to have those like flip flops with like 4-inch thick that were like that? Do you remember those? They're horrifying. This guy's fashion sense is weird to begin with. Plus the hand puppet. Okay, the most amazing thing about this picture is that he was invited to this party. And he thinks
just to be clear, it's not an all-nighter.
What time is it, you think? Like, this guy's planning on staying the rest of the night.
Yeah.
It was like 7 o'clock?
Yeah, everyone else left like they had like it was like a dinner thing. Everyone else left like at 7 or 8.
So everyone had like dinner and dessert and just like left.
Yeah.
And this guy like walks into his living room where this guy's standing in front of the TV. Wow, this is the worst. The fact that it's the other guy, I was like, welp, it's getting late. I find myself feeling bad for the guy on the left and wanting to know so much more about the guy on the right.
I think I'm fine with not knowing anything about him.
I like it. It would have been more like just normal, like a scenario I feel like everyone has been in on one side or the other if the guy didn't have a whale sock puppet. Like most people can relate to this.
I mean, this happens to me. This like when we were in high school.
This happens to you.
Yeah, like when we were in high school, you used to come over all the time.
I never had a sock puppet.
And we would just like hang out, and then you would just stay there the whole night, and I would go to bed.
Okay.
And you and my siblings would just stay up.
Well, yeah, because as teenagers, we didn't all have the sleep schedule of a great grandfather. Although I think great grandfathers also don't sleep that much. I don't know who has the sleep. You had the sleep schedule of like a.
Well, I went to bed at like 10. It's like a normal time.
Not for teenagers.
And I woke up at like 7.
So did we.
Like a normal time. No, you guys didn't wake up.
It was never this awkward, though. It was just like...
it was always this awkward.
It was never this awkward.
Always.
I never had a sock puppet, and I never wore shoes like that.
I mean, this is how I remember it. This was just a clear image of my memory.
You might have gone to sleep, and then I would have stayed and hung out with your siblings for a couple of hours. But there wasn't like this awkward exchange of you going to bed and trying to get me to leave, and then me pulling out my sock puppet. And
no, this is how I remember it. Well, I mean, you always pulled off your sock that you were wearing.
That is just a lie. I didn't. If I took off my sock, which I don't think I did that often at your house or ever, I didn't ever put it on my hand.
No, you did. And then you said this.
You did have all-nighters sometimes.
I didn't.
Well, just because you were asleep before the rest of us.
So I've never done an all-night.
Do you remember the New Year's party? You hosted. There was people over there that night. Remember how you didn't give me a blanket?
That was New sleepover, and we were younger than high school.
What is the difference? That wasn't high school, I guess. Yeah. And remember,
And I didn't plan that.
your house was freezing, and you never gave me a blanket.
I did give you a blanket.
And I stayed up all night trying to keep warm.
Not only did I say to everyone, does everyone have a blanket? If not, we have them in this closet.
All of those like YouTube
And you
videos
said-
and
everyone
TikToks.
was like, we're good.
All those YouTube videos and TikToks of people like covering
And then-
up with every imaginable thing in
And
somebody's
then not
house
only
because
that,
they
but
forgot to
you
give
chose
them.
to go sleep on the tiles. And when I asked you why, you said, because it's cooler and I like it.
I don't.
But it's like, because I was like concerned for you because I was like, Isaac, you don't have a cover. Do you need one? We have them in this.
I remember
closet,
wanting. I
And
remember.
why are you on a tile? And you're like,
I think you were asleep and dreaming
No,
this conversation. I remember sleeping on the cold tile because nobody gave me a blanket. And I remember staying up all night and doing like push-ups and stuff to try to keep warm.
I mean, I believe that that's true. But before I went to bed, I made sure that you had the option.
There are thousands of those YouTube videos and like TikToks and stuff now showing like the people sleeping over at somebody else's house and the friend not giving them a cover, so they cover up with like every imaginable thing in the house. That was me, like legitimately growing up in your house on the tile because you didn't offer me comfort.
We did offer it to you. You chose not to.
And the fact that I lived 2 houses down had nothing to do with this fact that I wasn't offered
The
a
only
cover.
thing I remember about that night is that we watched, because it had just come out, the Death of Superman cartoon.
Oh yeah, that was good. Brings back good memories. That.
Yep. That was basically the only thing I remember.
But I didn't have a sock puppet.
Well, yeah, but that's because you were actually allowed to stay that night. But to sleep, not to stay up all night.
I think we can both agree we don't want to be that guy. Or that guy. I don't even want to be the TV in this.
Yep.
The TV looks like he's in an awkward spot too. Like he was over by the wall and he's like, oh snap, and he got a little closer and then a little closer to try to see what was happening.
And then
He's like, wait, is that guy's hand doing the talking? Why are his lips moving still? What the heck is he standing on?
Yep. You kind of feel sorry for everyone.
Everyone in this picture, even the TV.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like 2023 and this TV is like, what the heck am I still doing here?
Why haven't you put me out of my misery yet?
This supposed to be in TV heaven by now. Well,
Yep.
The Last of Us.
This is what I drew.
If you like zombie video games and zombie TV shows, check it out. If not,
Then don't.
see you next week.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.